From One to Many. A Creator's Guide to Serving Thousands Without Burnout, written by Ronnie Rowland. Published by Growth Literacy Lounge. You can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first. Zig Ziglar. You didn't become a creator to build a cage. You started with a spark, an idea, a message, a skill. You helped one person, then another, and and it felt good, fulfilling, natural. But then something shifted. Your inbox filled faster than you could respond. Your content calendar ballooned. Your boundaries blurred. And the work that once gave you life started quietly draining it. This book is for that moment. The moment you realize you've outgrown your original approach, but haven't yet designed a new one. Because here's the truth most creators never hear. Your growth isn't the problem, your systems are. The goal isn't to scale your effort. It's to scale your impact. And to do that, you need a shift in mindset, in structure, in how you show up for your audience, and how you show up for yourself. From One to Many isn't a book about doing more, it's about doing less better. It's about simplifying your offers, building repeatable systems, and designing a business that doesn't collapse under the weight of its own success. You'll learn how to clarify what you actually do, protect your energy without guilt, and create a structure that supports thousands without requiring constant attention. But most of all, you'll learn how to make space for rest, for clarity, for your best work. Because when you stop trying to be everywhere, you can finally be effective somewhere. You can lead without burnout, serve without scrambling, and build something that grows with you, not at your expense. This isn't a hustle manifesto. It's a blueprint for intentional scale, one that respects your creativity, honors your limits, and helps you stay generous without becoming a martyr. If you're ready to stop surviving your success and start shaping it, you're in the right place. Let's build something lighter, smarter, and more sustainable together. Chapter 1. The Creator's Curse, When Growth Becomes a Grind. You start with one client, one idea, one person listening. It's intimate, manageable, fulfilling. You know their name. You answer every question. You show up with energy because the stakes feel small, but meaningful. Then something beautiful and dangerous happens. People start paying attention. 1 becomes 10. 10 becomes 100. 100 becomes 1,000. Suddenly the messages multiply. The requests pile up. The inbox becomes a war zone of well-meaning chaos. You tell yourself this is the dream. Isn't this what you wanted? But somewhere between growth and grind, the dream starts to sour. You're doing more, but it doesn't feel like more freedom. It feels like more pressure. More DMs to reply to, more comments to acknowledge, more content to produce, more eyes on you, expecting something, everything. You're showing up everywhere, all the time, to everyone. And at some point, even if you don't say it out loud, you start to feel it. This is unsustainable. That whisper is your first warning. Burnout doesn't show up all at once. It sneaks in. It starts with a missed workout, a skipped meal, a dropped habit. It grows with guilt every time you rest, and the creeping belief that if you stop, it all stops. The growth you once craved starts to feel like a cage. But here's the truth most creators never hear. The grind isn't proof of your passion. It's proof of your inefficiency. You're still trying to serve thousands the way you served one. You're treating every message like it's sacred, every ask like it's urgent, every opportunity like it's essential. And you're doing it alone. That's not noble. It's unsustainable. You don't need to quit. You need to redesign. The real secret to serving many isn't to stretch yourself thinner. It's to build smarter boundaries, clearer offers, and better systems, so your energy serves the work, not the inbox. Imagine this. You wake up, and your audience is being served without you lifting a finger. Content is publishing. Questions are answered. Your offer is selling. You're not dodging burnout, you've out-designed it. You've systemized what can be systemized. You've templated what can be templated. You've learned how to say no without guilt, because what you do offer is clear, consistent, and deeply valuable. You haven't ghosted your people, you've learned to serve them through thoughtful design instead of constant attention. Scaling doesn't mean becoming less human. It means choosing where your humanness has the most impact. One thoughtful video can serve thousands. One templated email can replace dozens of replies. One evergreen offer can free up weeks of your time. The point isn't to detach, it's to be intentional, because when you try to be everywhere, you end up effective nowhere. You lose the spark that made people show up in the first place. And ironically, the more you try to please everyone, the less powerful your work becomes. So let's get honest. Are you building a platform, or just reacting to one? Are you in charge of your message, or have you become a full-time responder? The shift you need isn't just logistical, it's emotional. You have to believe you can serve well without being everywhere. You have to let go of guilt and embrace design. It's not about doing less because you don't care. It's about doing less because you care more about your work, your impact, your health. This book isn't here to tell you to slow down. It's here to help you speed up the right way. To make growth feel light again. To help you serve thousands without forgetting yourself. And it all starts with one decision. Stop trying to carry it all. Let's carry it differently. Identify 3 places where you're overserving or overcommitting. Write them down. These are your burnout triggers. We'll start untying them, one by one. Chapter 2. Serving without always showing up. There's a myth creators quietly carry. That to be generous, you have to be available, all the time. To everyone. The moment someone messages, you reply. The instant a comment drops, you respond. Your notifications feel like a heartbeat. Miss one, and something might break. The truth? That's not generosity. That's dependency disguised as service. And it's not sustainable. The moment your presence becomes required in every interaction, you build a business that can't function without you. It's flattering at first, being needed. But over time it becomes exhausting, because it never stops. The inbox refills overnight. The requests don't pause on weekends. And even if you love your audience, you start to feel pulled apart by them. You become a ghost of yourself scattered across apps and channels, trying to hold it all together with real-time replies. It doesn't have to be like this. Serving thousands well doesn't mean being everywhere. It means being felt everywhere, even when you're not online. That shift changes everything. Instead of showing up constantly, you build systems that represent you with care and clarity. You start creating once, then letting that creation serve again and again. You write a thoughtful email once, it gets sent hundreds of times. You film a helpful video, it teaches while you sleep. You answer a question in public, it becomes a resource for the next 100 who have the same one. The key isn't to be more available. It's to be more intentional with what you make available. This isn't about being cold or robotic. It's about designing an experience that respects both your time and your audience's needs. Think about the patterns in your work. What do people ask you over and over? What advice do you repeat weekly? What message lives in your DMs and inbox on loop? That's not a burden, it's an opportunity. If you've said something valuable once, you can package it to live on, not just as content, but as service. Imagine you reply to someone asking how to work with you. You could write a custom response every time, or you could build a beautiful Start Here guide that walks them through it, in your tone, with your heart. You could answer the same 5 questions weekly, or you could create a resource page, a pinned video, a highlight reel that covers them all. That's still you. It's just you multiplied, thoughtfully, creatively, sustainably. Some creators worry that doing this makes them less connected, but the opposite is true. When you stop reacting to everything, you start creating from a place of presence. You can go deeper, not just wider. You start putting your best thinking into the content that matters, not just the replies that vanish. And when someone does reach you directly, you're actually available, mentally, emotionally, creatively. Not burned out, not spread thin. You've saved your energy for what truly requires your presence. You're not abandoning your audience. You're designing a better way to hold them. You're trusting that your words, once crafted with care, can stand in for you. That your ideas don't have to be one-time use. That your wisdom deserves a longer shelf life than the comment thread it landed in. This is how we scale without losing soul. By turning repetition into rhythm. By letting our systems serve as extensions of our values. So the next time someone says, "Thanks for always being so responsive," you can smile. Because they don't realize, they're being served by something you designed weeks ago. And that's the point. Not to disappear, but to be present in a way that's repeatable. Make a list of 5 things you've explained, or answered more than twice in the last month. Pick one and turn it into a reusable asset, a video, a PDF, a template, or a pinned post. Then let it do the work for you. Chapter 3. Boundaries with a Heartbeat. You can't serve thousands if you're breaking yourself to do it. But that's what so many creators end up doing, stretching, bending, absorbing every ask, until there's nothing left to give. Not because they don't care, but because they care too much. Every DM feels urgent. Every request feels important. Every quick question feels like a test of your generosity. So you say yes, again and again, until your workday bleeds into your weekend, your morning routine dissolves into inbox triage, and your creative energy gets devoured by obligations you never meant to accept. That's not generosity. That's leakage. The hard truth is this: if you don't set boundaries, your audience will set them for you. Not out of malice, but because people will always ask. It's your job to decide what you'll answer. Boundaries aren't walls to keep people out, they're pathways to help people find what you do offer. They create structure, not distance. And when you set them with intention, they don't push people away, they help the right people come closer. Think about a restaurant you love. It has opening hours, a curated menu, maybe even a reservation system. You don't walk in and demand a meal at midnight, or expect them to cook something they don't serve. You respect the structure because it communicates professionalism, care, and quality. That's what your business needs too: a clear menu, a defined schedule, a line you can kindly hold when the requests start to sprawl. Not because you're rigid, but because you're real. The fear, of course, is that people will leave if you say no. But the truth is, they'll trust you more. They'll feel the strength of your clarity. When you say, "This is how I work," they don't hear rejection, they hear integrity. They know what to expect. And the people who don't like your boundaries, they were never your right fit audience anyway. Saying no isn't cold. It can be warm. It can be honest. It can even be loving. You can say, "I appreciate the question, and while I don't offer free consults, here's a guide I put together that covers this exact topic." Or, "I'm not available for custom projects right now, but here's how you can work with me in a structured way." Or even just, "Thanks for reaching out. I don't do that, but I wish you well in finding someone who does." That's a boundary with a heartbeat, kind, clear, firm, and freeing. It's not about being less available, it's about being more intentional with your availability. You get to decide when and where you show up. You get to design how people interact with your work. You get to protect your energy not because you're fragile, but because your mission matters too much to waste it on misalignment. Boundaries let you build something that lasts. And yes, people might test your limits. They might push. They might guilt trip or question. But every time you honor your boundary, you model what self-respect looks like. And over time, your audience will start to mirror it. You'll attract people who value your time, your voice, your structure, not just your output. Boundaries aren't about doing less for your audience. They're about doing better for them, because you've done better for yourself. They don't dilute your impact. They sharpen it. They let you focus, breathe, and show up with energy instead of obligation. That's not selfish. That's sustainable. So don't wait until you're drowning to draw the line. Set it now, with clarity and compassion. Your future self, and your best work, will thank you. Write a no, but response you can use the next time someone makes a request outside your scope. Make it kind, make it clear, and save it somewhere you can copy and paste when needed. Chapter 4. The 80-20 of your energy. Not all effort is equal. You already know this on some level, but when you're a creator juggling tasks, posts, replies, offers, and a half dozen platforms, it's easy to forget. It all starts to feel important, urgent, necessary. But if you look closer, you'll find a brutal truth hiding under the surface. Most of what you do every week doesn't move the needle. It just moves you closer to burnout. The 80-20 rule, also called the Pareto principle, says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. It's not just a productivity cliché, it's a reality check. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Look back at your last month. Which post drove engagement? Which client brought the most income? Which task left you feeling creatively alive? Now compare that to everything else. The busy work. The social scrolls that felt productive. The projects you said yes to out of guilt, not alignment. Most of it didn't do much, and yet, it drained you anyway. Energy is your most valuable currency, not time. Not money, energy. Because energy is what fuels creativity, clarity, and connection, the very things that make your work worth doing. But most creators spend their energy like it's infinite. They treat every task like it matters the same. Answering DMs, updating footers, tweaking colors, recording yet another piece of content, because it's been a while. But here's the thing, effort without intention is just noise. You're not here to do more. You're here to do what matters. When you know you're 20%, everything changes. You stop chasing every opportunity and start doubling down on the ones that compound. You stop reacting to your to-do list and start designing your calendar around your energy highs. You stop trying to be productive in every hour and start being strategic in the hours that count. So how do you find your 20%? Start by logging your time and your energy for a few days. Not just what you do, but how you feel while doing it. Does writing light you up or drain you? Do calls fuel your fire or leave you flat? Don't just track outcomes, track aliveness. Your best work leaves at the intersection of impact and ease. That's your zone of genius. That's your real 20%. Then ask the hard questions. What would happen if you stopped doing the rest? What if you delegated the editing? What if you batched the content instead of scrambling daily? What if you let go of the weekly newsletter that no one reads and put that energy into a bi-weekly one that hits hard? What if you stopped showing up everywhere and started showing up better in one place? You don't have to be efficient at everything. You just have to be ruthlessly honest about what matters most, because when you protect your energy, you amplify your output, not through hustle, but through focus. The creators who look the most productive are often just the most selective. They do less, but better. And their impact compounds because their energy isn't scattered, it's sharp. This isn't about doing only what's easy. It's about doing what's essential and letting the rest go. It's about trading exhaustion for clarity, volume for value, effort for impact. The work doesn't get lighter, but you get stronger because you're no longer wasting your power where it doesn't count. So step back. Zoom out. Audit your energy like your business depends on it, because it does. Your creativity isn't a bottomless resource. It's a battery. And you get to choose what drains it and what charges it. For the next 3 days, track how you spend your time and how each task makes you feel. At the end, highlight the top 3 activities that energize you and deliver the biggest return. That's your 20%. Guard it. Chapter 5. Letting go without losing your soul. Letting go is one of the hardest things a creator can do. You build your business from scratch, piece by piece, with nothing but your own 2 hands. You write every word, edit every video, respond to every message. It's personal. It's sacred. And when someone suggests you should start outsourcing or automating, it feels like a threat. Like letting go means letting your voice get diluted. Like you'll lose the magic that made people show up in the first place. But here's the truth, you don't lose your soul by letting go. You lose it by clinging to everything and burning yourself out in the process. There's a moment every creator faces when growth demands a decision. You either keep doing it all yourself and hit a ceiling, or you build something bigger than you, not louder, not more complicated, just better designed, because the work you're doing now? Most of it doesn't need your fingerprints, it needs your direction, your voice, or your leadership, but not your constant effort. You don't have to be the one editing every podcast episode. You can hire someone who understands your vibe and keeps it tight. You don't have to manually send every onboarding email, a system can do that. You don't have to update your calendar, schedule your calls, format every blog post, write every caption, monitor every comment. You can, but should you? That's the shift, from doer to designer. From operator to orchestrator, or from bottleneck to builder. Of course, delegation comes with fear. What if they mess it up? What if it's not me enough? What if people notice the difference? Here's what usually happens instead. People notice the consistency. They notice that you're showing up more, not less, that your content is tighter, that your communication is smoother, that your offers are clearer. They don't feel your absence, they feel your elevation. And yes, at first it takes work. Letting go isn't a handoff, It's a handcraft. You create templates, train people, record how you think. You build systems not just to replicate tasks, but to protect your voice. And in doing so, you reclaim your time for the parts of the work only you can do. The ideas, the vision, the art, the direction. That's not abandoning your brand, that's preserving it. You don't have to go all in from day one. Start with what drains you most. Maybe it's customer service. Maybe it's editing. Maybe it's scheduling. Pick one piece of the puzzle and delegate or automate it. Use tools like Zapier, Notion, Airtable, or even a solid Google Doc with instructions. Keep it simple. You don't need a team of 10. You need systems that think like you do, and people who respect what you're building. And here's the irony: the more you let go, the more yourself you become. Because you're no longer buried in the weeds. You're free to focus on the high-level work that brought you here. You get to show up refreshed, not frazzled, creative, not cornered, present, not performing. You don't owe it to your audience to do everything. You owe it to them to do your best work, and that only happens when you're not drowning in the rest. Letting go isn't a weakness. It's a leadership move. It's how you scale your soul, not sell it. So don't wait until you're exhausted to ask for help. Start before you need it. Build the systems now. Create the guides now. Train the support now. Your future self and your audience will thank you. Choose one recurring task that drains your time or energy. Write out a simple step-by-step process for it, and either automate it with a tool or assign it to someone else. This is your first release. Chapter 6. The Power of Constraint. Most creators chase freedom. Freedom of time, of money, of expression. You want to build something on your own terms, to create without rules or limits. But somewhere along the way, freedom starts feeling like chaos. Every idea feels viable. Every platform seems necessary. Every opportunity could be the one. You start spreading yourself thinner and thinner, trying to do everything just because technically you can. But the truth is, freedom without constraint isn't freedom at all. It's exhaustion in disguise. Constraint is what sharpens your focus. It's what turns a floodlight into a laser. When you give yourself boundaries, you don't limit your creativity, you direct it. You choose where your energy goes instead of letting it leak into every corner of your business. You simplify, you clarify, and in doing so you scale, not by adding, but by refining. Think about the creators you admire most. The ones who seem effortlessly aligned, always producing meaningful work without looking frantic. They don't do everything. They do the right things. Their message is clear. Their offers are focused. Their presence is intentional. That's not an accident, it's constraint by design. When you constrain your offer, you get better at delivering results. You stop customizing everything for everyone. You build something repeatable, something with structure. Your audience knows exactly what you do and what you don't. That clarity creates confidence. Not just in your buyers, but in you. You're no longer guessing. You're building on solid ground. When you constrain your content, you stop chasing every trend. You start creating from depth, not just speed. You focus on the core ideas that matter most to your audience and to you. You create systems for delivery. You batch, you repurpose. You know what you're here to say, and you say it again and again, in different ways, with increasing power. Repetition doesn't make you boring, it makes you memorable. When you constrain your time, you stop working around the clock. You build around your best hours, your natural rhythms. Maybe it's 3 deep work days a week. Maybe it's no calls before noon. Maybe it's taking every Friday off to think, not produce. You give yourself structure so you can show up fully, not constantly. And that structure protects your creative energy, your relationships, and your health. The resistance to constraint usually sounds like this: but I don't want to limit myself. The irony is, without limits you limit your potential. Because you stay scattered, you keep starting new projects before finishing the old ones. You dilute your brand, confuse your audience, and bury your brilliance under a mountain of half-finished ideas. Constraint isn't about doing less because you're small. It's about doing less because you're smart. It's the mindset shift from dabbling to designing, or from reacting to choosing, from default to intentional. That's how real creators scale, by setting edges around their genius. And this isn't forever. Constraint is a season, a focused sprint. A boundary you set so you can build with power and precision. Once the system runs, the offer delivers, the message lands, you can expand. You can add. But not until the foundation is firm. So what if you chose just one offer for the next 90 days? One platform to go deep on? One idea to push all the way through? What would happen if you gave yourself the gift of focus? You'd move faster, feel lighter, build better. Constraint is not a punishment. It's a tool. One that frees your mind, sharpens your message, and gives your audience something real to grab onto. It's not about doing less work. It's about creating more impact with the work you choose. Choose one area, your offer, your content, or your schedule, and set a clear constraint for the next 30 days. Write it down. Stick to it. Let focus do the heavy lifting. Chapter 7. Your one offer that scales. You don't need 10 offers. You need one that works. One that solves a clear problem, delivers a real result, and can grow without taking more of your time every time it sells. Most creators don't burn out because they're unsuccessful, they burn out because they're scattered. They're building custom solutions for every new person who shows up. One week it's a coaching package. The next, a course, then a workshop. Then a custom project. Every offer is slightly different. Every delivery is a new drain. And worst of all, your audience doesn't really know what you do. Clarity is a gift, to yourself and to them. When you define your one scalable offer, you stop reinventing the wheel. You start building momentum. Because now everything points in the same direction. Your content tees it up. Your systems support it. Your marketing gets sharper. Your audience gets trained. They know what you're about, how you help, and what to do next. Your scalable offer doesn't have to be a digital product. It just has to be repeatable. That could be a service with boundaries, a cohort-based program, a self-paced course, a membership, a licensing model, a premium digital download. The form doesn't matter nearly as much as the function. Can it be delivered again and again without customizing everything from scratch? That's the test. Can it be fulfilled without you needing to personally show up every single time? That's the freedom. Many creators resist the idea of just one offer. They worry it means boxing themselves in, ignoring other opportunities, saying no to people who need something different. But the opposite is true. When you get known for solving one specific problem, people start trusting you more. They start referring you. They know exactly when to recommend you, and who to send your way. That's how you build a line out the digital door, not by doing everything, but by doing one thing exceptionally well. There's power in repetition, in refining, in getting so good at your delivery that it feels effortless. Not because you're lazy, but because you've optimized it. You've created templates, automations, onboarding flows, support docs, and upgrade paths. You've built an ecosystem around your offer that allows it to run even when you step away. That's the kind of asset that grows over time. That's how you scale. But before you can build a scalable offer, you need to ask the hard question: what problem do I solve best? Not what you can solve. Not what people keep asking you for. What do you solve consistently, predictably, and joyfully? That's the seed of your scalable offer. One problem. One solution. Delivered through a format that protects your time. Maybe you're a designer who turns long client projects into a one-day VIP intensive. Maybe you're a coach who turns 101 sessions into a cohort that learns together. Maybe you're a strategist who turns your most common advice into a playbook. The medium will evolve. What matters is the clarity behind it. When you lead with that clarity, everything else gets easier. This isn't about putting your work on autopilot. It's about making your delivery consistent so you can pour your creativity into your content, your people, your craft. It's about building leverage. Something that works when you work and when you rest. So instead of spinning your wheels with another offer idea, another landing page, another custom package, pause. Simplify. Go all in on one thing. Make it great. Then let that be the engine that funds your freedom. Write a one-sentence description of the single offer you want to be known for. Include who it's for, the problem it solves, and the result it delivers. Keep refining it until it's unmistakably clear. Chapter 8. Designing your Creator OS. Every creator has a system. Most just don't know it. Their system is chaos. Scattered notes overlapping calendars, content ideas buried in voice memos, client links lost in inboxes. They're not lazy, they're overloaded. They're reacting to everything, storing information wherever it lands, and hoping they remember where it is later. That's not a workflow. That's survival, and survival isn't scalable. If you want to serve thousands without burning out, you need a creator OS, a system built around how you think, work, and create. Not a complicated dashboard with 1,000 toggles, just a clear place for your brain to live outside your body. Somewhere you can track ideas, manage projects, build content, and run your business without guessing. It's not about becoming robotic. It's about removing friction so you can stay in flow. The best systems don't add noise. They reduce it, they make decisions easier. They automate the obvious. They guide your next move when you're tired, distracted, or overwhelmed. A great creator OS isn't just storage, it's structure. It's the difference between what should I work on today, and here's what's next. It starts with 3 core areas: ideas, tasks, and delivery. Ideas are the seeds. Your notes, voice memos, content sparks, frameworks, metaphors. Instead of scattering them across platforms, put them in one home. Notion, Obsidian, Evernote, pick one. Create buckets for each type. Use tags or folders that match your workflow. Don't overthink it. The goal is easy access, not perfect categorization. Then there's task management. What needs to happen, when, and by whom? This isn't just for teams. It's for solo creators too. Map out recurring content tasks, launches, client work, admin cycles. Use tools like ClickUp, Asana, or even a simple spreadsheet. The key is consistency. You shouldn't be rebuilding your task list every Monday from scratch. Your system should tell you what's due, not the other way around. And finally, delivery. This is where your work meets the world. Your content calendar, your publishing flow, your email sequences, your product fulfillment. This is where you turn ideas into impact. And this is where many creators waste the most time, manually formatting emails, recreating graphics, and rewriting the same posts. A system saves you here. Templates, reusable assets, checklists. A workflow that lets you batch content instead of scrambling daily. The goal isn't to become a productivity machine, it's to free your brain for the work that matters. When your ideas are captured, your tasks are scheduled, and your delivery is streamlined, your creativity flourishes. You stop spinning in circles. You stop wondering what you forgot. You stop avoiding work because it feels too heavy to begin. You just sit down, open your system, and begin. At first it feels like extra work, building templates, organizing folders, setting up automations. But every system you build today saves you hours tomorrow. And more than time, it saves your energy, because decision fatigue is real. Especially when you're the writer, marketer, operator, and CEO all in one. You don't need a perfect system. You need a functional one. One that reflects how you work, not how someone else says you should. Maybe you prefer visual boards. Maybe you love checklists. Maybe you want everything in dark mode with emojis. Great. The right system is the one you'll use. Start small. One tool. One process. One improvement at a time. Your Creator OS is a living thing. It grows with you. When your brain has a home, your business has momentum. You're not just building content, you're building capacity. And that's what lets you scale without breaking. Choose one recurring workflow, like content creation, client onboarding, or product delivery, and build a simple system around it. Use your favorite tool. Save it, test it, tweak it. Then let it run. Chapter 9. When to personalize and when not to. It starts with one message. Hey, quick question, then another. Can you review this real quick? A voice note. A comment. A reply to your story. Each one feels small, 2 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and because you're thoughtful, you respond. You want to help. You want to be generous. You want people to know you care. But before long, your day isn't your own. It belongs to the inbox, the feed, the replies, and your actual work? The deep, meaningful, high-leverage stuff that gets pushed to the edges. There's a myth that personalization equals value. That if you're not tailoring every reply, customizing every response, and showing up in real time for every ask, you're letting people down. But personalization is a resource, not a requirement. When used well, it creates magic. When overused, it creates burnout. The secret is knowing when to go personal and when to go scalable. Start with this: not every question deserves a custom answer. Not every quick favor deserves a thoughtful breakdown, and that doesn't make you rude. It makes you strategic, because the more your work grows, the more people will want a piece of you. That's a good sign. But it's also a danger zone if you haven't set up ways to serve without splintering your focus. Think about it like this: every time you answer a question privately, that answer disappears. It helps one person once, but when you answer publicly through a pinned comment, a podcast episode, a newsletter, it helps hundreds, maybe thousands. Same thoughtfulness. Way more reach. That's not being impersonal, that's being efficient, and it's how you serve many without sacrificing yourself. The trick is to create tiers. Some messages deserve a one-to-one touch, a high-value client, a collaborator, someone who's invested deeply in your work. That's where personalization shines. But most day-to-day asks? They belong in templates, resource links, automated replies, or evergreen content. If you find yourself repeating something twice, that's a sign. Turn it into something you can reuse. Not because you're lazy, but because your time is precious, and your ideas deserve scale. Here's what that looks like in practice. A simple autoresponder for DMs that points people to your FAQs or best resources. A saved reply in your email tool that answers your most common questions. A pinned post at the top of your profile that explains how to work with you. You write it once, and it works over and over again. And when someone does reach out with something unique, you'll have the margin to respond with real presence. Because you're not drained from answering the same question 10 different ways. Personalization should be a choice, not an obligation. You get to decide when to bring that extra touch, and when to trust your systems. And when you do show up one-on-one, it means more, because it's rare, intentional, not routine. That scarcity makes it feel sacred again. The creators who thrive long-term aren't just the ones with the best content. They're the ones who protect their energy, who know their limits, who design ways to serve without constantly being on call. They build with clarity, not guilt. And their audience respects them for it, even if they don't respond to every message. Because the real value isn't in your availability, it's in the quality of what you create. You don't need to apologize for protecting your time. You don't need to justify every no. You just need to build ways to serve at scale, and reserve your personal bandwidth for the moments that truly matter. Write 3 message templates you can reuse, one for general inquiries, one for content questions, and one for boundary setting. Save them where they're easy to copy and paste when needed. Chapter 10. The myth of constant availability. There's a quiet pressure creators feel once things start to grow. The pressure to always be on, to reply instantly, to be reachable on every platform, to show up daily, post hourly, respond within minutes. It doesn't start as a rule. It sneaks in as an expectation. One message you didn't answer fast enough. One comment you missed. One follower who says, "You used to be more active." And just like that, you start equating presence with performance. You think if you're not constantly available, you're falling behind. But the truth is, that mindset is a trap. It's not sustainable, and it's not necessary. Being always on doesn't make you more valuable. It makes you more vulnerable to burnout, distraction, and creative erosion, because availability is a currency, and if you spend it all on responsiveness, you have nothing left for resonance. Your deep work suffers. Your thinking gets shallow. You become a manager of messages instead of a maker of meaning, and that's not why you started this. At some point you have to ask, who told me I needed to be this accessible? Where did I learn that being good means being constantly reachable? You don't expect it from your favorite authors, artists, or teachers. You don't email them and expect a reply by the afternoon. You trust their work to speak for them. So why not offer yourself the same permission? Availability feels generous, but often it's just reactive. It keeps you busy, not better. You become a character in someone else's agenda, responding to their needs on their timeline. That doesn't make you helpful. It makes you exhausted. And ironically, when you're always accessible, your presence starts to lose its impact. The more people can reach you, the more they take it for granted. So what's the alternative? Design your boundaries into your business. Don't just set them privately, communicate them publicly. Let your audience know how and when you're available. Publish your communication rhythm. Set expectations on response times. Use tools that support you, email autoresponders, pinned comments, booking forms, availability pages. You're not saying go away. You're saying, here's how I show up best. And here's the beautiful part, most people won't mind. They'll respect the structure. They'll appreciate the clarity. You'll get fewer but better messages, more thoughtful inquiries, more aligned opportunities, because you've taught people how to engage with you. And in return, you get to protect the energy that fuels your best work. This isn't about disappearing, it's about being present on purpose. When you're off, you're really off. When you're on, you're fully on. No split focus, no quiet resentment, just intention. That's what makes the difference between a burnt-out creator and a magnetic one. Some people will push back. They'll say you've changed. They'll miss the version of you that replied at midnight and said yes to everything. That's okay, you're building for sustainability, not approval, and those who truly value your work will adapt. They'll stick around. They might even thank you for showing what healthy, intentional leadership looks like. You are not a customer service rep for your audience. You are a creator, a builder, a thinker. Your job is to protect your clarity, not your notifications, to design your days so they serve your purpose, not everyone else's urgency. So don't wait for the breakdown. Don't wait until you're snapping at emails or ghosting your own calendar. Choose your availability instead of letting it choose you. The myth is that you need to be available all the time. The truth is, you only need to be available when it matters most. Write a simple availability policy when you check messages, how people can reach you, and what to expect in terms of replies. Publish it somewhere visible and let it do the heavy lifting for you. Chapter 11. What serving thousands really looks like. When you picture someone serving thousands, you probably imagine chaos, an overflowing inbox. A calendar packed with back-to-back calls, constant content, endless pings. The image is noisy, stressful, and honestly, a little discouraging. You might even think, if that's what success looks like, I'm not sure I want it. But here's the good news, that image is wrong. The creators who truly serve at scale don't run around putting out fires. They design their businesses so the fires rarely start. Serving thousands well isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things, in the right order, with the right support. It's about replacing constant effort with repeatable systems. It's about creating processes that hold the weight of growth, so you don't have to. Most of what looks like high-level performance from the outside is actually low-drama execution behind the scenes. And that's by design. Take Lisa, a designer who used to take on 10 custom clients a month. She was booked solid but exhausted. Every project felt like starting from scratch. Then she created one signature package, built a clear intake form, recorded onboarding videos, and set weekly office hours for support. Within a month, her work became smoother, her clients were happier. Her boundaries held, and she scaled her income without scaling her stress. Not by cloning herself, but by productizing what already worked. Or consider David, a course creator who used to spend hours replying to emails every week. He felt guilty ignoring messages, but his replies were eating into his content time. So he built a Start Here page with answers to every common question, linked it in his bio and autoresponder, and started pointing people there. Almost overnight, the noise dropped by 70%. His people still felt seen, but through structure, not sacrifice. Then there's May, a coach who thought group programs would dilute the intimacy of her work. But after years of one-on-one calls, her calendar was full, and her energy was thin. She redesigned her offer as a cohort, added pre-recorded lessons, and hosted live calls once a week. To her surprise, her clients got better results. Why? Because the structure gave them space to reflect, connect, and take action. And May? She finally had time to think, create, and breathe again. These aren't superheroes. They're just creators who made a decision to build systems that serve their audience and protect their well-being. To scale through clarity, not chaos. To shift from responding to designing. And the result? Businesses that feel light, not loud. Serving thousands doesn't mean becoming less human. It means choosing how to show up with intention. It means trusting your tools, your processes, and your content to carry some of the weight. It means treating your wisdom like an asset, one that can be distributed, not just delivered live. What people really want from you isn't unlimited access. They want transformation, insight, encouragement. And they don't need a one-on-one interaction to receive it. They need direction, structure, a clear path. When you build that into your business, you multiply your impact without multiplying your exhaustion. You don't need to be everything to everyone. You just need to decide how you serve best, then build a business that reinforces that decision. Serving thousands doesn't mean you lose yourself. It means you finally get to focus on what only you can do, and let the rest run without you. Sketch a high-level map of how your business serves people from first contact to final delivery. Where are you too involved? Where could a system, template, or tool step in? Circle one area to simplify this week. Take care and be well.